What's up, guys? Welcome to the Freak Podcast. This is Mr. Blue Sky and my wife.
Oh, is that my intro?
Yeah, that's your intro.
I'm Morky the Morgatron.
And we're going to be talking about some of the movies, horror-related, we watched this year. Which were the best, which were the worst.
Well, I mean, it's 2022 now, so I guess it'd be last year, technically.
Okay, we're going to be talking about the movies we didn't like in 2021 and which ones we did like in 2021.
There we go.
Jesus Christ.
This is going to be a long podcast.
All right, what movies did we watch in 2021?
All right. I mean, I wish we would have put these in, like...
Order?
In order of, like, when they came out. I feel like we can probably figure it out which one came first.
I mean, the first one I remember watching was Psycho Goreman.
Yeah, I think that came out early.
And then I remember watching Willy's Wonderland, and then Wrong Turn.
And then the Fear Street trilogy.
Army of the Dead, and then the Fear Street trilogy.
Yeah. So,
all right, well, let's pick one then. Which one do you want to talk about first?
I mean, I guess we'll start with Psycho Goreman. I mean, a heads up, guys. This is definitely going to have spoilers in it, so that's something to be...
Continue to listen, regardless. If not, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie review, guys. We're gonna spill some beans here. We're not gonna... Yeah. Did you like Psycho Goreman?
I did. Psycho Goreman was probably one of my favorite ones I watched this year, mainly because it was basically House Guest meets horror. And it was a lot like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episode, where it's almost like a satire in its own way. Like, they don't care what the graphics look like. They use a lot of...
all of their designers for their costume was...
Yeah, they use a lot of prosthetics, not like really any CGI. And when they do
you don't see that a lot nowadays, it seems like.
No, when you see like the special effects in that movie, it's basically like you can see the person from the green screen. And you could tell it's a green screen, but it's so bad it's good. Like, it's supposed to be that way. I don't know, it's something nice. It's not like straight CGI like we see in Malignant, which also used prosthetics, but not a whole lot.
We'll get to Malignant later. I don't want to fucking talk about that one yet. I don't know. Psycho Goreman was... I just can't get over that little girl. The main character is such a little biatch. I know that's her designated character type, supposed to be sort of deal, but damn, she's just unbearable to watch for me.
I can't remember what her name was. Her name was something.
It's not important. She's just...
It starts with an M, I think.
Oh yeah,
it's something like real bitchy, like
Michelle, probably.
No, like Mimsy? No, it's not Mimsy. It's fucking...
Mimsy.
What is her name? It's Mimi. It's Mimi.
Oh, yeah. Like, something that's not really annoying to hear
Mimi's
over and over
an annoying name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like the movie regardless of the character. I mean, I didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
They used a lot of prosthetics.
Like, I liked all the side characters, and I like Psycho Goreman. I thought it was really funny, some of the dialogue. But like I said, it was so hard getting over the fact that the main character was a little biatch, so...
I think that's what made it fun. Like, the character was so annoying that she was funny.
Yeah.
Like, she is annoying as fuck, but, like, at the same time, it's like, alright, this movie's about a alien that's controlled by a stone, being hunted by these, like, angel androids from whatever fucking whoop-de-doo planet. I don't know. It was a fun movie.
Yeah. And then, so, Wrong Turn, right? That was next?
I think Willy's Wonderland is. We could talk about Wrong Turn
I honestly... also to mention, Psycho Goreman scored a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty freaking high.
I think audience score was in the 60s, but I mean, again, sometimes I don't know with Rotten Tomatoes. Sometimes they understand how the movie really is, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get into one score that on this list is completely shocking to me.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but again, I thought it was a pretty good movie, and I don't know why the audience didn't think it was as good on Rotten Tomatoes as they did as the actual Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah. So, Willy's Wonderland, I really like that. I was, again, kind of satirical. I like comedy mixed with movies, not to mention we are Nicolas Cage stans in this household. So we love seeing him act absolutely fucking crazy.
My favorite part about it was how much it was more like Five Nights at Freddy's versus Five Nights at Freddy's not even being able to make their movie yet. Like, they're just like, all right, what if we just do this concept that's a kid's game and it's turned into this giant property for kids to then make toys of, and just put Nicolas Cage in the middle of it, make him a janitor that may be autistic. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, he's got autistic tendencies with like, following his schedule.
Yeah, it's like autistic plus OCD. Wasn't he in the army? I think he was military.
There's nothing that says he was in the military.
I thought he had a dog tag or something.
He was just literally he's driving his car, needs a job because he has a flat because some asshole put spikes in the road, which is the owner of the store. He's like, all right, you can be
casually go be the janitor of this place for one night.
I don't think he did put the spikes in the road. But yeah, I like to think he did. No, maybe
they said at the end everything was planned.
Everything was planned. Okay.
Yeah, they did it because they have to feed the gods of the.
Yeah, they have to feed this. They have to feed the demons. Basically, they're just possessed animatronics, which were murderers. And before they were like killing kids, and then they were just feeding outcasts and strangers that were just coming into the town.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. Nicolas Cage just yells the whole time, doesn't really talk, doesn't have a name.
Wait, does he actually verbalize when he... Man, it's been a minute, guys, so we apologize. This was like early beginning of 2021.
It was. I think
rewatch it. But yeah, he is silent the whole movie. I don't think he vocalizes at all.
I think maybe once.
Does he scream?
He does yell.
Or like grunt, you know?
No, he does his Nicolas Cage yell.
Okay, I mean, how can you not? But, alright then.
Its Rotten Tomatoes score was a 61%, which I like to think it should be better. I think, what was the Rotten Tomatoes score for that movie, audience-wise?
Not sure. You think it would have been higher since, like, it had that... I mean, since Psycho Gorman with the prosthetics, I mean, they did, like, prosthetics for the animatronics in a way, or their costume, and if they want to applaud Psycho Gorman for that stuff, you think they would praise Willy's Wonderland. But... They
did really good animatronics. The audience score for that was 68%, pretty close to Tomato Meter. Sometimes I want to say fuck Rotten Tomatoes, but the other times I'm like, hey guys, look how good this movie is, because Rotten Tomatoes has it ranked really high and the audience score is really high too.
But
I think Wrong Turn actually falls into, since we're going on, Wrong Turn kind of falls into the 2021 version. Because I know that it had a fresh score of 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then it had a 46% audience score, which I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I liked it. There's some things I don't like about the movie. A lot of them have to do with the characters, but I like the creativeness they did with that new story instead of just doing like inbred mutants in West Virginia. They kind of did like a cult in West Virginia that were tired of the New World and wanted to go back to old customs, and made their own like law and own community. The ending sucks. Some of the character motivation doesn't make sense, but I feel like 64% is a good score for that movie.
I would like to disagree. I really, really liked Wrong Turn. Like, I would rewatch it, like, 100%. I think it's I like how the characters that they used like to fit their stereotypes. Like, they use very generic stereotypes. I think it's always funny when people use that in a way.
I don't know. The one stereotype is at the beginning, one of the girls changes a tire when they get a flat. She's like, my dad taught me, and then basically says her dad raped her.
What?
Yeah, you remember that? She literally says, "Oh, my dad did more than that," or something like that.
I don't think
Like,
you're talking right.
Yes, literally implied that she was having relations with her dad. I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm gonna need to fact check that one, guys. But no, I love Wrong Turn. I love the concept. I loved the ideas of ethical behavior in our society versus a different society. What really determines morality. I thought that was an interesting psychological concept to implore in.
Now, the
liked it.
practical effects they do for some of the gore is really good.
Yeah.
Like, the one guy gets his head smashed in by the log.
Yeah.
That shit looks real. It looks good. It's
Yeah.
not CGI. I mean, obviously, the log is CGI at one point, but most of the time, the gore they do in that movie is pretty real.
Yeah, the kills are pretty solid kills. All right. Is it Fear Street time? We got 3 of these ones to talk about.
There's 3 parts for this.
Yeah.
What was your favorite? I'll ask you what your favorite is, because you already know what my favorite is.
I'm going to have to say part 3.
Part 3, why?
I think part 3... Hey, I'm kind of stupid when it comes to movies. It takes a lot for me to like it to click in my brain. I'm like, oh, this is happening, or whatever. I don't really have much intuition. So when part 3 actually explains everything, and then like also I like the old timiness feel of it.
More explanation, kind of like the Salem Witch Trials.
Explanation, and then how they also incorporated actually using the characters that are from the other ones to demonstrate the past relatives. I thought that was really creative.
Yeah, how they're basically all ancestors.
Yeah, and like it showed directly who was the ancestor of who. I thought that was really creative.
How history tends to repeat itself, even though it's it goes, yeah, it's almost 300 years in the future. Over 300 years in the future.
Yeah, I mean, and lesbian love always perseveres, right, boys? So.
My favorite part was part 2. Part 1 was kind of cool. Especially the beginning. For part 1 for me, I was like, oh shit, they already killed the killer. And then, as the movie goes on, you understand that the killers are always brought back to life through a curse from the one family. Is it the good family? Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
yeah, they're called the good family.
Oh, the
I mean, hindsight, it should be something you see if you watch a lot of movies in hindsight. I thought I was like, oh, maybe just because they're these rich people and they're called the good family, it kind of makes sense. But part 2 was my favorite, 1978. To me, it felt like Friday the 13th. I like the summer camp vibe. Friday the 13th's one of my favorite horror movie series, so that one fit in really good, especially with like the part 2 Jason look. And it only fits because it's part 2 of the Fear Street trilogy, so you get the mask look, the decapitations of some of the characters. Like, he straight up decapitates one character, and the prosthetic looks really good. Fucking head falls down. The killer kills kids in this one. I mean, they kill kids in the first one and the third one. Is it
really that risque though? If it's another kid killing another kid?
Well, no, it's the fact that like the kid's not thinking. Like, most horror movies have the set rule that the kids don't die, and then unless they're like teenagers. But like some of these kids in part 2 weren't teenagers. Like one of the kids was from Pin 15, kind of the chunkier kid. That's he's like trying to figure out his sexuality in Pin 15. Straight up fucking gets killed like nothing. He's like 12 years old. And
I feel like the rule is as long as the killer is a kid, you can get away with killing other kids. You know, if it's an adult killing a kid, like that's morally wrong.
Well, if it's like the movie The Good Son with Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I mean, you can kill Macaulay Culkin. I mean, he deserves to die. He straight up kills his younger brother in the bathtub.
Okay, but do you mean anyone really deserved to die?
No, he deserves to die. Drop his ass off the cliff and let's move on. But I really liked part 2 a lot. I thought the ending was really good. I like how they brought everything together that we'd seen from part 1 like it's supposed to. I thought it was a really nice transition. Like, oh, who's this character that survives? And then it shows the character survives, and you wonder why she doesn't want anything to do with anyone, and why she only trusts the sheriff. And then when we go to part 3, we realize, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't trust the sheriff.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, I mean, Fear Street on Rotten Tomatoes amazing scores, 83%, 88%, and 90%.
88% being part 2 and 90% being part 3. So definitely the strongest ones out of the trilogy. And I mean, it's always going to be it's really weird for the sequels to have higher scores, but in this case, this movie was supposed to be released into theaters like a month apart from each other, which I think would have completely killed the score. But being part 1 didn't do any explaining, and part 2 and 3 explaining the whole entire story. That's basically why we see these higher scores in the sequels, which you don't see a whole lot.
I think also maybe the anticipation probably helped as well. You know, like build up. I mean, part 1 directly leaves off with a cliffhanger.
Possibly. They all kind of... The only one that doesn't use a cliffhanger is part 3. I really do like how the series... We're kind of going on a tangent on the series. I really like how the series did like a Scream type killer in part 1 and the Jason killer in part 2. And then basically you're seeing like a weird, like a bad John Proctor from The Crucible in part 3.
Blessed be thy crucible.
Like you're not seeing like, you're like, oh, maybe she's like Abigail from The Crucible, and then it flips and you're like, oh shit, it's like bad John Proctor.
Yeah. So overall, yeah. Would recommend. Everyone would recommend. Great scores for great reasons.
And those are on Netflix, so if you have a Netflix account, go fucking watch those right now. There's other ones you can watch, like Willy's Wonderland is on Hulu, and Psycho Gorman's on Shudder only, but most people have Netflix and Hulu, so at least you can watch Willy's Wonderland and Fear Street trilogy. And since we're talking about Netflix, we're going on to Army of the Dead, which I thought was a really good movie. Zack Snyder did a really good job, basically coming right off of Justice League and the death of his daughter. I think he directed something that was kind of odd for the horror community because it has a lot to do with time travel. Time travel horror movies are kind of hard to do, especially when you add like fucking zombies in the mix in alternate universes and fucking aliens.
I mean time travel.
Basically, when you go back and watch the movie, you'll see at the very beginning, you'll see aliens. And a big, like, I guess it's not technically a thing in the movie yet, but Zack Snyder's teased it, is there is like a time travel type thing. So when one character goes into a vault and doesn't die, he goes into basically another universe. It's really hard to explain because we don't have a sequel yet, but he's really teasing the fact that we have alien zombies, time travel, and horror all at once. I think the best part of Army of the Dead was probably Dave Bautista. The character that played his daughter was really fucking annoying and basically fucked his character over and over again. But his character was really cool. Dave Bautista can move for a big man. Like, there's a scene where he's moving across tables, like blackjack tables, and it's like, holy shit, that man is gigantic and he is flying through there.
He didn't skip leg day, that's for sure.
No, and it's kind of cool to see like the zombies interacting with each other because they're almost basically like their own like beings. I think it does a really cool thing where it makes them like their own people and how we could see them different, and basically they just want to be left alone. Even though they're secluded, and they've built like this community where they like all understand each other and have a hierarchy, which most humans will not most humans, but most animals in general will do. There's always like an alpha and omega, and I thought that was a really cool thing to do in a movie like that, especially when it's just about zombies. It's about like just like killing zombies the whole time. Like, it's a heist movie, and there's weird alien shit in it. I'm talking a lot about this one. And like a hierarchy within like a zombie community.
We have self-aware really cool. Zombies, basically.
Yeah. Well, like there's one in the movie that gets like pregnant, and the father that gets the one pregnant is like upset that his wife was killed, and that his blue alien zombie zombie alien baby was dead too.
Zombie lives matter.
I don't know. I thought it was really cool. The CGI was kind of bad. Like when I think about the white tiger.
That
scene
was a little rough.
Yeah, it was a little rough, but the character does do a really cool. Or that zombie does kill somebody. A character is a piece of shit. What did you think about the movie? Since I just talked a good 5 minutes about it,
you're really getting into it.
I like that movie. You can go watch the review on the channel too. It's further down.
Oh,
the
yeah, I
list.
forgot you did a review on that.
Yeah, I really liked the review. I was kind of harsh with the review, I think, because I talked about how it didn't really make sense. But again, it doesn't have to make sense, especially when it's like the first of a trilogy. And we did have a sequel that shows where I can't remember the guy's name. I remember I called it wrong the whole entire video.
Yeah.
But either way, like the guy that does the
Lock.
the locks. I never watched that movie, but I thought it was really cool for Netflix to like let him direct his own movie. And it's not even about that's the thing about it. It's a spin-off, but not even trying to be like a horror movie. It's just a heist movie that shows where this character came from. Like his character was so like good and interesting that it has a whole spin-off movie that doesn't even have to be horror. But it's set in the same universe, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm done talking. What do you think about the movie?
Are you sure you're done talking?
I am done talking.
Yeah, I mean, I did like how there were some overlapping things. You don't ever see a heist movie with zombies. I mean, so that was definitely creativity points.
Nothing like Hurricane Heist.
What?
The movie Hurricane Heist, where they do a heist in a hurricane.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I need to write that down. I mean, it was fine. I mean, I feel like it was more action than horror, personally. And I mean, maybe because there was the heist aspect of it, and it wasn't bad. I mean, the ending kind of blew. Yeah.
I like the ending because it kind of feels like a George Romero film.
Okay, but also I want to ruin something. Dave Bautista dies. I mean, you're telling me what?
He's dead in that timeline. If it's anything like the spoilers, he could be in a different timeline alive, which would be really cool to see.
I think they just realized that they fucked up killing off Dave Bautista, who is like, also, this only scored, what was it? 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score was like 90%. I remember that specifically because I think everybody loves Dave Bautista, and also
He's a great actor.
and also that creative element of heist plus zombies. I mean, come on.
It's Zack Snyder coming back for another film right after the death of his daughter.
He did do a good job.
It was his first film back, even though Warner Brothers gave him complete shit over his Justice League movie, which the 4-hour cut's amazing. They didn't promote any of his movie. I think it's a good win for Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. He come back with a giant bang and basically a big fuck you to Warner Brothers by making a entrance onto Netflix. And they're like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have got rid of this guy.
Yeah. It definitely seemed like a movie that definitely could have been in theaters.
Oh yeah, if it would have been, I think it got a bunch of money. Netflix gave him a bunch of money to make his movie. I remember how excited I was to hear about Zack Snyder making a zombie movie, because Zack Snyder and James Gunn did Dawn of the Dead. They did the Dawn of the Dead remake, which I thought was amazing, and a lot of other people think it's amazing. So that's why a lot of people are excited about it. That's why it feels like Dawn of the Dead to me, the remake, is because he made it. He kind of gives, like, I don't know, if you think about Romero's films, like Land of the Dead, the zombies have personality, they just want to be left alone, they don't want to die, and I thought that was a big part of this movie. You could tell Zack Snyder was channeling a lot of Romero's type of zombies into this film, and I think that's why it works so well, and I think that's why a lot of people liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't really know. I think 67% kind of gypped out. I feel like
it's still fresh tomato score.
Yeah, I think they were a little harsh on it. So I think next, we get kind of a gap here, but I think it's Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Did not like that movie. I didn't like it at all. Jump scares. I think the reason I didn't like it is because James Wan was missing. And we're going to talk about James Wan here soon because maybe he should have stayed with The Conjuring.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it in a little bit. What did you think about the movie?
I mean, I'm a sucker for The Conjuring films, just because of the two main characters. I mean, Patrick Wilson, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, come on, it's Patrick freaking Wilson. Like, he's a great actor. He's done amazing in the franchise. But plot was okay. I mean,
Vera Farmiga or Farmiga, I don't know how to say her name. I apologize.
I mean, she always does a good job too. It was kind of just different. They're definitely one of the weaker ones of the Conjuring films. Yeah,
You could feel that James Wan was missing. It didn't feel like the prior two films. And it's not a bad thing to give another director a chance, but with how long it took to get the third Conjuring movie to come out, I think it should have been way better. You have an interesting case. The opening was awesome. The CGI looked kind of bad, like
yeah,
pretty bad. Even though they said the kid could bend like he did. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. It's on HBO Max right now. They just re-added it recently. The kid bent the way that kind of like the CGI does in that part, but it's, I don't know, you can tell there's something missing from that movie, and that's why its Rotten Tomato score was 55%. I don't remember what the audience score was exactly, but I can't imagine it was that much higher.
I think it might have been a little bit higher, but it wasn't a lot. I don't think.
Like, you look at Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2, there's a lot more suspense with the characters. With this one, there's not a whole lot of suspense. Like, this one focuses more on the Warrens than the other two. Like, when you look at Conjuring 1 and 2, they always focus on the family being affected. This one doesn't really focus a whole lot on the families being affected. It kind of it brushes over them a little bit. Like, it'll show them, but not as much as it should. Like, those are the people being affected. Those are the parts we want to see. I don't know. It should have been more like, they should have followed kind of a tone of The Exorcist 3, because this is basically kind of like The Exorcist 3 plot, where it's this demonic serial killer.
I mean, it's the witch.
Yeah,
cursing
but this
people.
one, yeah, and this one doesn't even end on a high note.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, well, he gets out of prison afterwards, and they get married. It's like, yeah, but he still killed somebody.
Yeah. I mean, the devil made him do it. That's the whole title.
Yeah, the devil made me do it.
Yeah, it's the whole title.
And I don't like the way they show the scenes where he's... So you know he's possessed when his eyes go completely, like, cloudy white and his skin gets pale. That is so fucking boring to me. Like, you look at The Exorcist, made in the 70s, and their skin changes, their eye colors don't just go cloudy like they're being, like... I don't know. That feels like a lazy way to show someone possessed.
Yeah. It's like... Okay, the one part I did like is like... Or, well, it kind of confused me, but in the after effect they get about it was kind of, like... Kind of cool they did. Like, when he was supposed to have murdered the dude at the dog shelter house.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just shows him walking away, like, all fucked up. Like... It's the whole thing was the implication. It makes you think of Dennis from Sunny in Philadelphia. It's the implication. It's like, what do you mean the implication? It's the implication that something happened, you know? And that's kind of suspenseful. I mean, I would have liked to see actual, just pure violence.
Well, the way they do it is it basically, like, he sees his girlfriend basically being harassed, so he kills the guy.
Is that self-defense then?
It's not. Like, if she did it, would be self-defense.
Then is it just defense? Is that how that works?
I don't know how to explain it. I just don't really enjoy that movie. It's definitely the weakest link out of the trilogy. First one's still the best. Second one's still really good. Annabelle Comes Home, I thought was really good. Even though they have a fucking werewolf, which doesn't make any sense, but I was for it.
Just let it happen.
I was just seeing I mean, it's not a true story. That one's not a true story. These other ones are based off true stories. Fuck it. Let's throw a werewolf in the mix. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean.
But yeah, let's go on to James Wan, what he was actually working on, Malignant. What do you think about Malignant?
I think we know what I think about Malignant. Malignant was absolute total fucking garbage.
Why?
Literally, oh my goodness. Hey, the plot was really transparent, okay? And I'll give you what, you know the biggest giveaway was that goddamn intro with all the names. Because all the background screens, I don't know what that was about. All the background screens, or like when they had the title screen, they had all the things showing like the surgery of the brain and whatnot. And I'm like, so clearly we already have an idea what this even means. It's not like what I think of is Jordan Peele's intro to
Us.
Like that intro, that doesn't give away anything. Just leaves you kind of confused. And then later you
Very
understand
vague.
what it is. But with Malignant, it gives it away right away what the actual kind of problem is. Not the exact thing, but you already know, like, this has to do with something psychological / her brain. Like,
The title is not very creative.
oh yeah, also the freaking title. Everyone knows that Malignant is like cancerous, you know, like a leech.
Brain cancer.
Yeah, like
something that leeches off of you. And the fact that that's literally what happened. It blows my mind this fucking movie got 76 on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe I'm dumb. I need to rewatch it.
No, I don't think that's it.
But maybe it's just a cult favorite that I was so excited for this movie. We watched it, what, day 3 or 4 when it hit
he was
HBO
excited.
Max?
He showed me the trailer and everything. He goes, "Oh yes, this is James Wan. It's gonna be good."
I had rewatched the trailer so many times. There were shots that were like crane shots that were so fucking beautiful. And it was so vague. The trailer was so vague. I was like, man, this is going to be really good. And then I was so disappointed. I don't know if I overhyped the movie myself or it's the fact that, like, the jump scares were so bad. Like, there's this one scene I remember in particular. And I've only watched this movie once when it came out. And it's a scene where her sister can't get through the entry door at the bottom, the front door. So she climbs up and opens a window and scares the main character. And it's such a shitty fucking jump scare. I'm like, what is this? And then all of a sudden we go to basically a House on the fucking Hill asylum. Like literally that's what the movie House on the Haunted Hill is. It's an old asylum and she just happens to find these records. We're like, oh, you have a twin in your head. I'm like, oh, how creative. So they fucking put it, she has a twin in her head. That just takes control, and that shit is so fucking... You can see that shit from a mile away, especially at the beginning. And it keeps showing, like, where she's at. Like, I told Morgie where the fuck they're... I was like, they're in the fucking attic. They're in the fucking attic of that house. There's no way they're not. And guess what? They're in the fucking attic. They make it look like a fucking sewer for whatever reason, or a factory. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Not to mention the main character, a lot of their acting is bad.
Awful acting. I doubt you're fucking listening to this. If you were in the movie, good job. You made a movie and got money for it, but you were not good at it whatsoever.
It was especially for like I think we expected more because it was a James Wan film. I mean, the only thing that saved that movie was some of its shots.
And there was one scene in particular. Where, what's his fucking name? I can't remember the name of the, oh my god, what is the name? It's something dumb. It's like Toby or something.
Talk about the cop?
No, I'm talking about the actual, like, twin.
Oh, her brain. Fucking, yeah. I don't know. The ending was also bad.
But there is one scene where they're in a police station where... she's arrested for the murders because her mom falls through the ceiling, like her birth mother. And then the fucking twin comes out and just start fucking people up. I was like, what is going on here? It looks like, again, James Wan did Saw, right? He did fucking Saw. I'm not thinking of Eli Roth, am I? I'm pretty sure it was James Wan, if I'm not mistaken. But it literally looks like the Pigman in Saw. Yeah, okay, yeah, James Wan did Saw, so I'm not fucking stupid. It looks like the Pigman in Saw. And starts, like, running around, like, breaking people's necks and stabbing them with fucking chairs and then kicking people across the room. I didn't know if it turned into a fucking John Wick film or if it was a horror movie. I was like, I mean, this scene's pretty cool, but that's about all I'm giving it. I'm done. I'm done going on the tangent about Malignant. It's got more talk than it should have.
Yeah, it was. And I've heard other people say that they liked it, and like coworkers and stuff. Yeah, and I'm like, how?
I have friends that say they like it. I'm like, you can like whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you that movie's a piece of shit. Unless I rewatch it again. I mean, I give it. We were talking about this yesterday in the car. At first, I did not like Halloween 3 when I was a kid because I thought it was going to be a direct sequel to Halloween 2. I didn't know how, but I just thought, since I've seen Halloween 4 and 5, it would be really, really close to just being just a filler in between. And then it wasn't anything like Michael Myers at all. It didn't have him in it. It even shows the trailer, which I was confused. But after watching it, knowing it, I liked it.
Yeah, that was an anthology.
I don't think I can do that with this movie.
Yeah.
There's just so many. I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bad writer. Obviously, he's a great contribution to horror. James Wan is really good at what he does. He did a really good job of bringing the jump scare into popularity, even though it had been done tons of times before him. It really got a lot of new people going. Like, horror wasn't a big thing in the 90s. We had things like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Candyman, Hellraiser.
So it was big.
It wasn't that big. Those are, and like Bride of Chucky. I wouldn't count Child's Play 3 or 2 in there because I don't think they were as big as what people think. They were like box office success. So he did a really good job of bringing modern horror into the 2000s and the 2010s. But now that we're in like the 2020s, I did not like that movie at all.
Yeah.
I'll watch whatever else he does. I mean, I really like Aquaman. He did that movie. I don't know if he was doing both at the same time. I know he was trying to write a horror movie based on The Trench in Aquaman. So I don't know if that kind of fucked with what he was doing in Malignant.
Yeah, I mean, like, what kind of horror movie even was that? Was it a slasher? Was it a psychological horror? Was it suspense?
It's more of a suspense thriller horror.
Right, like it didn't even like really capture even one of the subcategories, to say. So, anywho, which one? We only have a few more that we really watched, kind of lack last year. Seeing like, I didn't watch VHS 94, but it got good reviews.
I did, and I liked it. I thought it was kind of fucked up. I always think of, like, the biggest thing was like the rat monster. I can't remember what it was called. It was like Rattata or something.
Ratatouille?
No, it's not Ratatouille. But you guys should watch it. It's on Shudder. I know a lot of you don't have Shudder, but again, it's only like $5 a month, and you get to see movies like Mandy by Nicolas Cage.
Would recommend that one.
You get to see Dario Argento's Demons 1 and 2. Great movies. They're dubbed, but they're good movies. And you got all the VHS on there, and 94 just kind of feels different because, I don't know, some of the stories they do are really fresh, really gory. I got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I can't remember what the audience score was.
Might have been a little bit lower.
I think it was in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't like gore. I don't like, that's like probably my least favorite horror category. It's a little bit, I don't know, I just have too vivid of an imagination. So when I see things, I can imagine it, you know? So it's a little bit too much.
Won't watch really anything Clive Barker unless it's Candyman.
I watched the first Hellraiser, and that's enough. That's enough for me. I mean, I respect gore. Okay, their ability to do all that in their art and the artistry in it. Yeah, that's cool as hell. I don't want to see it though.
Well, it comes to the point where they suspend belief so much where it literally looks real. Like, you think it's real. Like, your mind sees that, like, oh shit, that's a brain. That's a smashed brain on the ground. Since she doesn't really have anything to talk about VH94, I think you guys should go watch it. I watched it by myself. I enjoyed it. We're going to go on to something that came on in October that I'd been waiting for a year. Really, I've been waiting for since Child's Play in 2019 came out, and that was the Chucky TV series. What did you think about the Chucky TV series?
Oh, I loved it. Acting was shit, but I just, oh my god.
It wasn't shit. I mean, one character's acting was shit, okay?
I mean, it was kind of it was like B-rated, you know what I mean? B-rated acting, but I just love Brad Dourif so much. I love his daughter so much. Tiffany.
Fiona's amazing.
Jennifer Tilly, oh my god, love her. Like, I don't know, it's what we all have been wanting for so long, is another fucking Chucky or Chucky series.
I think we waited since the last movie was 2018. I think Cult was 2018. Mm-hmm. So we had to wait 3 years, but they did a really good job. I'm glad they got the money. from Universal to put it on USA and Sci-Fi. I don't know if the money came straight from Universal or not. I'm assuming. I mean, you have to have the rights to do that character, which they own. Some of the acting was but I mean, it's a TV show.
On Sci-Fi.
Yeah, on Sci-Fi and USA. You've got new characters coming out. Don Mancini's so fucking good at changing the pace of the films. Like, he never rewrites anything. Like, Bride of Chucky, for instance, one of his favorite movies is Frankenstein. What's he do? Makes fucking Bride of Chucky, basically Bride of Frankenstein with his own twist. He's just fucking brilliant. For somebody that's been doing a character since 1988, everything after part 3 has been a new sequel.
Yeah.
Like, he's always changed up the pace and the tone.
Nothing feels worn out, you know?
No, and I mean, he's added comedy. Curse was really good from 2014 or 15. It just went straight horror and not a whole lot of comedic parts. And then when he goes to Cult, he adds comedy back, which I think was really necessary with him being in a sane asylum. And then adding new characters, like a fresh new cast with bringing the old cast, like Andy Barclay and Kyle. I think it was just a good idea to do. And even Jennifer Tilly as Jennifer Tilly.
Come on, Jennifer Tilly's great.
But technically, Tiffany, I don't know. I thought it was really good. A really good series. It ended on a really cool note. I thought the idea of going to Hackensack was really cool, especially it's a callback to Bride of Chucky where his body's buried. I thought it would be really cool if they did something about his buried body in the heart of Damballa, but they didn't really talk about it. Maybe we'll get something next season, but it did get renewed for another season. We have to wait till this year, probably October again. But I think it'll be okay. I think Don Mancini's going to do really good. His writing style and directing style is really apparent in the first couple of episodes. And he's got a really good writing team. He brought some of the people from Channel Zero, which was on Sci-Fi. If you don't watch Channel Zero, it was kind of like an anthology series, like almost like Twilight Zone or Tales from the Dark Side. More like Tales from the Dark Side by the classic horror directors like Romero or Stephen King did a few episodes. But I think it's in good hands. I think it's going to do okay. It's got a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is pretty high too. I think what was that? That was
I think it was like 80s. So even the audience liked it
I mean,
but
my brother didn't like Curse of Chucky at all. He thought Cult was okay. He didn't like the remake of Child's Play, which I liked. Morgie liked too. But he really enjoyed I showed him the first 5 episodes of the Chucky TV series, and you can watch the complete series right now on Peacock if you get their premium. It's $50 a year with ads, or it's $100 without ads. I mean, I feel like I should share this information, especially if I want you guys to watch this stuff. And I want this stuff to continue to go on and do good. So you guys should give
sponsored.
it a watch. It's not a sponsor. I just think it's good for people to go out and watch this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. That series again. It was just like I never was bored with it, and which can easily happen with a TV series and stuff. But it was always enticing. I mean, the couple characters that were a little bit subpar. It's just something that it just happens, you know. And that's not. It's because they were young actors too. But
the only complaint I have about it is Fiona Dorff wasn't her character Nika wasn't in it that much. She was supposed to be basically like the new face of the franchise, and it leaves off on what happens to her character, which we've kind of spoiled it. If you haven't seen it, just either pause this part or skip over this part.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay, I won't say it.
It's kind of it's a shock factor for sure. Because both me and you were like, "What the fuck?" So. But yeah, no, I did like her. It's gonna be interesting seeing what they do with her, considering
what happens at the end.
What happened, and not to mention, I think Clive Barker liked her too. So I mean, I don't think
Clive Barker,
not Clive Barker.
Mancini?
I'm sorry, Down Mancini. I'm still on Hellraiser.
They do a really cool thing with prosthetics and practical effects. They make her look exactly like her dad for flashback scenes.
Mm-hmm. They did a really good job,
and they do a fucking awesome job. Like, you can tell. Like, it's not Brad Dourif, obviously, because it's not him. But they had prosthetics to her, which they released after the episode came out on via Twitter and other things. And it looked really cool. She looked just like her dad. And I think it was a really cool thing to have like the family involved because she's been around the production of it since she was little. I don't know. It seems really cool. You can tell that it's a really close cast altogether.
Yeah. All right. So last but not least, and by far the
underrated
and overrated and everything in between film, Halloween Kills. Would you like me to go first? Or?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
I have a lot to talk about the
subject.
subject.
We both equally love this film. Yeah. I love... What's her name? God, oh my goodness. Why am I blanking on her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis?
I knew it was Curtis. I don't think her first name. The hermaphrodite. Jamie Lee Curtis.
She's not a hermaphrodite. That was a rumor back in the 70s and 80s for whatever reason.
I'm not spreading fake news. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. I freaking love her. I liked the first Halloween. Then this was an excellent follow-up in my standards to
Halloween in 1978 or not 70? Is it 70? Yeah, it's 78.
That's
or
old.
2018.
Both. I mean, technically, both. But yeah, it was just. I'll let Hunter go on about it, and I'll just kind of add on whatever you don't cover.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because
I like where it picks up right after Halloween 2018, which was really good. I like the fact that basically Michael can't be killed unless we sponge it out, at least a new trilogy. I just like the fucking director and writers. I mean, you see people like David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, which were famous for doing Eastbound and Down together, making a horror film, especially with the license of fucking Michael Myers is nuts to me. I like the way they do the 2018 was perfect. There's some things I don't like about it, but I mean, hey, I'm not the one that made the movie, and it still did a really good job of bringing the character into a reboot / sequel to modern audiences. Halloween Kills does something. It just creates mass hysteria. So every character finds out that Michael's out killing people, and none of them really know what happened at the Strode house, at Laurie's house. So it's kind of cool to see Michael be like, okay, I'm fucked up. I'm going to start killing people. He starts killing people. It doesn't matter who it is.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
It is.
No. Literally, all the characters that he kills are in the way of him heading home.
Okay, so you don't find this out until about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way into the movie.
Yeah.
That Michael really only wants to go home. I don't know why they didn't really show anything of that in Halloween 2018. It's not really apparent that's what his motive is. But again, we don't know because we don't have all the information. That's why some of the sequels can be better than the originals, because all the information's not there to evaluate. So he starts trying to get... We find out 3/4 of the way he's on his way home. And
all the kills before that just seemed like unnecessary and or just random attacks.
Yeah, he kills some of the old characters, like the nurse from the very first one. She also makes an appearance in Halloween 2, which isn't canon, and she makes an appearance in Halloween H2O, which isn't canon. But they do a really cool scene with the prosthetics they use for Loomis. They do a 1978 Haddonfield scene where they show the cops. I can't remember his name. What is his name?
I don't know. I'm the one here forgetting Jamie Lee Curtis's name. I don't think I'm gonna know that guy's name.
God damn it. He's the character that's in Halloween 2018 that says that he was there the night that Michael was taken down. I can't remember his fucking name for the life of me.
Yeah.
It's not even that hard to remember. Hawkins. God damn. I should remember because of Stranger Things. So, Officer Hawkins, it shows what happens to his character back in the day. And the character that looks just like Loomis, Donald Pleasance, fucking amazing. It looks like Donald Pleasance is playing Loomis again. And they kind of show, that's where they bring in the fact that Michael Myers was trying to get back to his house. And Lonnie from the original 78 Halloween, where Loomis is like, Lonnie, get your ass away from there when he's at the Myers house. kind of comes into play. And fun fact, they used Bob Odenkirk's picture as one of the deceased kids from Halloween '78. But I'm getting off track. I like the movie a lot. There's some really emotional scenes in it, like the escaped insane patient, the asylum patient that...
Yeah.
Should I say it on...
No, oh my goodness, do not. Okay, so, I don't know, that... The disabled patient or the mentally ill guy that got out, and they all thought it was Michael. They are chasing him down because, again, they don't know. And this is a really good view on how people handle different situations and hysteria.
How mass hysteria can really affect
judgment.
Judgment and the people around you. Like, how can you really affect somebody that doesn't know all the facts?
Yeah, just from rumor. I mean, it was I don't know. And then, like, after the fact, everybody kind of realized that this is what... It just drove them to do things that they didn't think they should have done in the after fact. Like, like hindsight 2020, like...
Now, it does end on a weird note.
I'm glad how it ended.
It's really... it's really kind of cool how it ends, because it's the fact that... fear and hysteria is what give Michael his power, and Anthony Michael Hall the whole time is like, evil dies tonight. It does not die tonight, because we all know a fucking sequel's in the works. But the way that they do Michael's basically power to why he kills is really interesting when they kind of went realistic with the first film. The first sequel to the trilogy.
Yeah.
It got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I can see why, I guess.
What do you mean?
From an outsider stance, I could see why. If you hadn't watched any of the Halloween sequels...
That's bullshit.
Prior to this...
You know why? Because they extensively try to explain all the backstories. You cannot tell them they didn't try to give you guys any kind of backstories. So, even if you went straight into it raw dog... You would still... They gave you, in the beginning, very clear ideas of what things were and why things were happening, okay?
40% was the Rotten Tomatoes score for critics, and I'm pretty sure that... 60. I want to say it was in the 60s for audience score. And most horror fans love the movie.
Yeah.
Almost everybody I saw, it was a 66% chance audience score.
People who actually follow the franchise.
Yeah, people that like horror liked it because, one, it was one of the best slashers that I've seen in a long time because it was just nonstop killing. The body count was high, and you're rooting for the character you've known for a long time. It's been around since the 70s. Because you're not really rooting for any other character other than maybe the Strode family, which I don't really see why you would. I mean, the movie's called Halloween, and... Well, the only character that's been every Halloween is Michael Myers, except part 3.
Can I give away the very, very ending?
No, don't give away the ending. You can go watch this, though, if you haven't seen it, on Peacock. So you might as well get your fucking Peacock subscription now so you can watch Chucky and Halloween Kills.
Okay, but that app is terrible, though.
Paramount is awful.
Terrible.
I have it. It's awful. You don't need to really watch that. I mean, it's got a few old classic 80s horror movies on it, but I wouldn't buy it. But Peacock does have some good horror stuff on it. You can watch the complete complete season 1 of Chucky, and you can watch Halloween Kills on there. And now we move on to nominations for the worst 2021 horror film.
Okay, now, technically, by Rotten Tomatoes scores, it should have been Halloween Kills from our list that we talked over. Technically, Rotten Tomatoes says Halloween Kills. But I think concurrently, is that the right word? We both definitely would agree it's Malignant.
Yeah, I would agree 100% it was Malignant. It didn't really bring... It brought original things. I will admit this. I will give it the benefit of the doubt. It brought original ideas to the table, but the fact that the movie was so awful, in my opinion, that I kind of throw that shit right out the window.
It was executed just so poorly.
It had really good. Whoever was the director of photography on that film, good job. You did a great job.
The only person that deserves.
You had nothing to do, and then whoever did the prosthetics on that movie, you did a good job. Those people had nothing to do with how bad the movie turned out. I blame the writing, whoever made the fucking storyboards, besides the shots that were good, and the editor. I'm going to blame the editor. Except for you, the editor did a really good job of the scene where the fucking... I want to call him Toby. I think it's something stupid like that.
Something weird, yeah.
The twin... it's not Toby. No, it's not, but he looks like a Toby.
Is that Tony?
It's not Tony. Tony. But
question mark.
that's about the only scene. I'm done talking about Malignant. I'm so tired of talking about that movie.
So so we're kind of tied to what we thought our best 2021s are. I mean, what's something of this list that you're gonna rewatch first?
Rewatch first?
Yeah.
Well, with the sequel, it's really...
Oh, we never talked about Candyman.
No, we didn't.
Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, one more movie we've got to talk about, and I think it's important because it was a good-ass movie. At least I thought it was really good.
It was a good movie.
Okay, so Candyman, Jordan Peele, excellent job. Clap, 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 clap. I really liked it.
Neo DaCosta and Jordan Peele. You can't forget that it was both. It was a really good horror movie. I thought See, there were some things I didn't even realize when I watched the trailer, and it would have fucking ruined the movie for me. I would have hated the movie if I paid more attention to the trailer.
That's why I don't watch trailers.
Also, most people don't pay this close enough attention to characters from the old ones. It is a direct sequel to Candyman 1. They do a really cool job with what they do with the whole folklore of Candyman, like the urban legend of him. Basically, there's just a whole bunch of Candymans. It's not ruining anything. They do show that in the trailer. You can go fucking watch it if you want. So don't even cry about it. I will not ruin what the spoiler is. If you're expecting to see... God damn it, why can't I not think of his name?
Who you talking about?
The guy that played Candyman originally.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He's such a good actor. I always forget. He's playing Venom in the new Venom game. Tony Todd.
You said Tony, right? Earlier.
Yeah, I said Tony earlier and I forgot fucking Tony Todd's name. Tony Todd is not in this movie. But like 15 seconds, which isn't bad. It's kind of like a pass on the torch type of thing. But I think the movie does a really good job of showing social issues, along with... it kind of takes a deep exploration and artwork when it comes to social issues. Mm-hmm. And just general ideas of what art can show you. And it kind of shows you the snobbiness of people that are in the art community. Like, oh, this isn't anything new. There's nothing new here. Unless it has something to do with making money. But Candyman was a really good movie. I thought the photography was done really well. I don't remember a whole lot of jump scares in that movie.
Yeah, I don't remember any either. I feel like I'd be the one to remember it because I'm the only one affected by it here. Yeah, it was really great. I mean, it talked about gentrification a lot and how it just talks about like real issues along with the horror, which I mean the original Candyman also talked about,
which was Clive Barker.
Okay, yes, that one was Clive Barker, and I mean the first one talked about the same issues as this new one is. I'm just glad they also brought in real issues as well. I mean, it brings everything.
It was a perfect movie to explore modern issues with, because you can see this shit still happening from the 90s till now.
Yeah. With low-income communities and whatnot.
And that's what horror is all about. It's about exploring social issues with either showing them straight away, like blatantly you can see it in the movie, or it's a good, what would you say, synonym? What is the word I'm looking for here?
I'm not following.
It's a good... So some horror movies,
Portrayal?
yeah, good portrayal of society without saying directly what the social issue is.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them, even if you might have to look for it a little bit, even if it's not directly, you can see different issues within it. Like, how to think of a something later, but yeah. Anyway, really, in overall it got what was the score?
It was a 84%.
That's definitely fair, I would say.
I thought it was probably 90%. I really enjoyed the movie. The fact that I even rented the movie at full price at $20.
Yeah, we were just excited to watch it because he just showed me Candyman like a couple days before the original one because I hadn't seen it, and
that was the best Candyman sequel we had, in my opinion. I don't like Farewell to the Flesh, and I don't like the whatever the other one is. Something Cajun. I don't remember what it is. Yeah,
I mean, and good for Jordan Peele because some of his movies he's been pushing out was kind of shitty lately, so this one was kind of nice. Think about like Ma and stuff.
He didn't do Mom.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Who did that then?
Somebody else.
No, that was Jordan Peele.
No, it wasn't.
You $20 on it right now.
It was not Jordan Peele.
Right now, let me see who it is. Come on, IMDb. Director Tate Taylor. You're telling me that wasn't?
No. He doesn't do stuff like that.
I thought it was
Get
him.
Out and Us is the only like directorial writing debut that he has in horror. And then
there's that other movie too.
Other than Candyman, and then he has a new movie coming out soon.
No, there was. I swear to God, maybe I'm just thinking of a different movie, but it's.
Gosh, he doesn't know.
Yeah, I just don't know anything. Anyway, so yeah, that was the last of our ones on the list. Apologize for that being out of order there, but. All right, so your nomination for the best, or again, I'm sorry, which one would you like to rewatch out of the ones we'd watched first?
Either Halloween Kills or Fear Street 1978 and Candyman. Those would be the three. Those kind of tie all three for me.
Yeah, I think it would be either. Man, I just love Wrong Turn. I don't know why I'm such a freaking sucker for that movie. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I legit don't know why that has a hold over me like it does.
Cult movie.
Yeah, I do love cults. Yeah, I love cult movies. So yeah, I don't know, but we kind of know which one we like the best. Best slasher of the ones we've talked about. That one's rough.
I'm gonna say Halloween Kills is the best slasher.
Just by body count?
Body count, some of the creativeness of the kills. Doesn't not kill kids. He does kill kids in this movie.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Some of the ways he kills some of the characters, like the gunshot, like the one character shoots themselves by him hitting them.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So, I like Halloween Kills the best.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, that's a good slasher. And then part 2 of Fear Streaming, they also did. I mean, that was the classic slasher.
Yeah, there was more kills in Fear Street 1978 than 94 and 1666.
Yeah. All right. So, what movies do we gotta get watching?
Still need to watch Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. That movie's still out in theaters, so we'll probably be watching that soon when it releases on digital. I mean, you can watch it. You can watch it right now. It's just I don't want to pay $20 to watch it yet.
I don't really know how I'm feeling about that movie. I watch the trailer and stuff, and
Edgar Wright has never done us wrong. He did Shaun of the Dead. He did The World's End. He did Hot Fuzz. He did Baby Driver. I'm with Edgar Wright.
Okay, but I mean, okay. And then I haven't even watched Don't Breathe yet, but I want to watch Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe too because I watched the first trailer and it looks freaking good. But it's not on any streaming services. You have to all buy it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of stupid.
I haven't watched Don't Breathe 2. Based off the trailer, it's weird they try to make him an anti-hero, especially with the things that go on in the first film. I enjoyed Escape Room 1, even though it was kind of cheesy. I have not watched Escape Room 2 yet. Tournament of Champions, I'm pretty sure what it's called.
That sounds cheesy.
The movie Antlers is executive produced by Guillermo del Toro. I really want to see that too. It does a really cool... I like movies that kind of like take folklore stuff and urban legends and make them like horror villains. Like the Wendigo is like the main villain in that movie. And it's got Jesse Plemons, which is Kristen Dunst's husband. He's from Breaking Bad. And if you guys remember Like Mike, he's the bully in Like Mike. I don't know, it just seems a really cool movie. It also has the God damn it, I can't remember her name. She plays in Bedtime Stories for one. She's like Adam Sandler's.
That was an old. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I can't think of the woman's name. I apologize, but I
don't know. I mean, I saw Antlers. I feel like there's gonna be like some pretty solid jump scares in there, so I'm gonna brace myself for that one. For some reason, even though Quiet Places 2 is like super accessible, like everywhere, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's literally on Paramount, and
I'm pretty sure it's on like Netflix too. Or no, where else is it on?
It's just on Paramount.
Basically, we have access to it, and for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's because the dude died in the first one. I'm just like, okay, but he made that movie.
I don't know if it's the fact that John Krasinski is in this one little in flashbacks, or I don't know. Like, I like Cillian Murphy a lot. He does a really good job in Peaky Blinders and every Christopher Nolan movie he's in. I don't know. I don't have a urge to watch it like above anything else.
Right. Like, I mean, Quiet Place 1 was really, really good. Don't get me wrong. It was super good. I enjoyed it.
I think I like Emily Blunt, but I don't like seeing Emily Blunt as the main actress. Like the main...
For 2 hours.
Yeah, like the main character. I have nothing against her. It's just... And I have nothing against women. It's just the fact that...
I don't like the way you got so defensive like that.
People are like that on the internet.
Yeah, people like it on the internet, yeah.
It's just the fact that I don't know... I don't know how it ends, obviously. But I think it would be cool if, like, the kids were on their own. I think it would make it more of a compelling story if the kids were trying to raise their baby brother or sister. I don't remember what the kid is that's born in the first movie, but I think that'd be a cool idea to try to, like, grow up in a post-apocalyptic world where these monsters with super hearing try to attack them.
So you basically want Emily Blunt to die. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, yeah, but for character building purposes.
For character development. We shall kill the mother for character development. And then I want to watch old M. Night Shyamalan. Hunter is avoiding it like the plague. I don't know.
I don't. After the movie Glass, he's left a fucking bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, he just tried to do too much with that. I mean, Glass is like the acting was really good in it. But
I don't like Sarah Paulson as an actor.
Yeah,
she plays on American Horror Story. I think she tries to overact in everything she plays in. And that part killed it for me. And the fact that how dumb the ending is to that movie killed it for me.
Yeah, that's fair. It was just too much. Like, he did not have to go. He did not need to do what he did. But I like Glass for what it was. But anyway, I do want to watch Old because it reminds me of the movie Thin, the Stephen King movie.
Thinner, yeah.
Yeah. Like that kind of concept, like time being the ultimate, but yeah, Hunter's avoiding watching it. But yeah, hopefully that wasn't too much talking for you guys. Hunter overloaded you probably with names and stuff. I'm like, who the hell are you talking about? I don't know any of these names you're talking about. I know Kirsten Dunst, and that's about it.
I'm an encyclopedia of names.
What did you say?
Don't worry about it. I'm a dictionary of names.
I'm a dictionary of words. Okay, me too, bud. So yeah, Hunter wants to talk more about all the movies we watch, but I feel like that's a lot too much. I feel like the horror movies we talk about are always interesting and fun, and it forces me to watch more horror movies.
I mean, we have Scream coming out January 14th, which
we're gonna go see.
Which we'll see soon. This is being recorded before the release, obviously, and it's probably going to be released on January 14th, the day it comes out. So
why so long?
Because we always do the releases on different days.
Because we got release. Anyway, but hope you guys enjoyed our little chit chat.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening the whole hour and 10 minutes of the Freaked podcast. We originally did it a first episode, but that was back in October, and it's now January, and it had fucked up so bad with corruption that I was not putting it together like a puzzle piece.
That would have been too much work, and here we are not like that. So, we thank you. I don't really know how we close out this thing, besides
thank you guys for listening to the podcast.
Did we do scat to outro?
We don't do scat to outro.
We sure
No, we don't do that.
No.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will be probably posting this on Spotify too, podcast. So make sure you go over there. I'm sure I'll have a link right underneath for podcasts on Spotify. Make it easier for you guys to listen to. And then make sure you guys also go follow me on Twitch, because I talk about horror stuff over there and show off some of my collectibles sometimes while I play games. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.
Dun 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 dun.